Welcome to Tuesday, second day of 49 days of embodied spiritual practice. Today, being Tuesday, we're going to be focusing on patience, purpose, and passion, which is perfect because this evening at around 8 p.m., the spring equinox is officially starting. So we're going to be playing with that just a little bit today. Excuse me, I'm having a tiny bit of hay fever today. So let's dive right in. So as we get into our practice, each week things are going to be just a little bit different. So this week our focus is on becoming aware of awareness, which is kind of a fun thing to say out loud. And again, each week we'll have just a slightly more nuanced and specific approach to what we're up to. And each week as well, the standing practice, the seated practices are going to migrate. So we're going to be learning kind of a group of practices this week and then another group next week. Although there'll be some crossover, but just for everyone to be excited that there's going to be a few other things happening. So let's begin by entering into the moment, finding a sense of our body. And because we're beginning with becoming aware of awareness, one of the best things we can do is learn to choose where our attention is and where it's going and what we're focusing on. We can also learn to play with choosing what our attention is doing. So as we've been playing with this metaphor of balancing a broomstick on your hand as a metaphor for what it's like to stay very aware of our experience in meditation, you can see that I'm kind of just doing a little wobble with my spine. Now you can do that in any direction you want. You can do figure eights. Just be intuitive and allow your body to just naturally float around. And then as you're doing that, notice that the more you play with the up and down feeling in the spine, the smaller the wobble gets and the more present you become to what your attention is doing. So sometimes it's fun if we inhale and let the wobble wobble in whatever way it wants to. And as we exhale, you just focus on that spine opening up and down, becoming more still. You can exhale, allowing the wobble to disappear as the up and down relationship becomes very coherent. So we'll just do that for a couple of more breaths, and I would encourage you when you inhale and allow the wobble to happen to just allow the direction to be completely spontaneous and intuitive, very unplanned. Very much if you like you were the broom balancing on someone's hand, your spine is balancing on the seat you're sitting on. And just allow perhaps the gusts of gravity to decide. So let's just do 3 breaths like that. Inhale, wobble, exhale, focusing on up and down. So another thing we've been playing with is the experience of occupying space with our awareness. I've described that as kind of bat sonar, as a way of mapping out the space you're in, especially with your eyes closed. Just take a moment and feel the space you're in. Feel where the furniture is, where the windows are, where the walls meet the floor. And If you want, you can keep doing the wobbling and extending. It's up to you. I really like that part. As your awareness might come back to your spine, notice that in the same way as that occupying space around you, you can do a little sonar check or it'll occupy space within you. And just feel every cell in your body. It's kind of a strange thing, but when you notice that you're occupying the space around you with attention and you're occupying the space within you with attention, but if you allow those two things to meet, you're just the space of attention. As we occupy that space outward and inward with attention, let's do something with our attention by choosing to imagine a little shimmer, a little radiance, a little something that allows us to imbue that space around us with the sacred, which is a feeling. And to allow that feeling of the sacred to fill your whole body. This is what sometimes is meant when we say holding space in a sacred way. Just allow that sense of sacred beingness to be something we can return to anytime we're confused or stressed out or impatient or dealing with someone else who's stressed out and impatient. So let's bring our awareness to our breath. We've been exploring the sensual breath work. As we inhale, we notice the bridge of our nose, top of our sinuses, back of our throat, filling our belly, and filling our belly enough to lift up our shoulders a tiny bit. I call that the lid. So as we exhale, we can lower the lid, empty the balloon of the belly, feel the air leaving through the throat, the sinuses, and the nose. We have to breathe kind of slow. Feel your nose, sinus, throat, belly, lid. Drop the lid, empty the belly, let the air pass your throat, your sinuses, and nose. Just play with that for a minute. Try that once with your mouth open, just to feel what it's like to feel the air passing through your mouth as you inhale. Then throat, belly, lift the lid, so through your mouth, into the belly. So you're just leaving the body as tangibly as you can, as sensually as you can. And notice what we're learning to do with our attention. Sometimes when I need a little check-in with what's really going on in that sensual kind of caress sense of feeling what's immediately happening, which is the thing we encourage people who are feeling anxiety to do, is just feel a texture, smell a smell. Just breathe and feel the air passing in every way that we can, in and out. So let's go to the second practice we've been playing with, which is to imagine the inside of your body is a well, and there's a leaf floating on the water. And as you inhale, you imagine the well filling with water, and the leaf floating up. As you exhale, the water empties, and that leaf inside your body goes all the way down, right down to below your belly button. Inhale. And just play with the imagination of the well filling, the leaf floating, and then emptying out again. We're going to do that for a couple of minutes. We're going to add a couple of details just before we begin that. So as we inhale and that leaf comes up, be as slow and kind of gracious or graceful as you can. And when the leaf gets to the top where your body is full of breath, just pause for a moment and just feel that quality of patience, that kind of an abiding presence of waiting. And as we exhale, slowly as we can, comfortably, follow that leaf with your attention. It gets to the bottom, just wait for a couple of heartbeats. And really think it's time to breathe in, give it another heartbeat, and then breathe in with your belly. Fill the well up and down. There's a quality of practice that asks us to listen with our whole body and being, with every kind of sensation we have. This quality of listening is called Ting Jin in Chinese. And it means not just to listen with your ears, but when we smell with our nose, and wait to see not only what the smell smells like, but how that smell affects us. Because we all know smells can really affect how we feel. Similar to taste. When you taste something really good, it changes your whole state. Getting a really good massage or other sensations, the more you listen and feel into the massage, the more beneficial it is, the more sensual it is, the more potent it is. Embodied meditation invites us to recognize that meditation isn't just about your mind. And some of my teachers would say that the body is the mind before the mind is the mind. So focusing on sensation, felt sense, moving towards stillness, but never holding still. It's much more effective, especially at the beginning of any meditation practice. Know the well, let the leaf float upwards. Pause. And exhale. So we're going to do one little additional thing. Now, if you want, if it helps, you can imagine that this well, for some reason, maybe it's not very well cared for, and the whole surface of the well is now covered in leaves. I know it's spring, but maybe that's a fall image, but just stay with that well, with the water. The water is just covered in leaves. And as you inhale, then the water comes up. See if as you inhale through your nose, you can smell those leaves. Because you might smell them right now as they rot underneath the snow, or perhaps decompose. You exhale, let the water sink. It's kind of amazing what we can do with our awareness and attention and mindfulness. So, and keep doing that breathing. I would encourage you to, in whatever way is the most comfortable. I'm just going to share a couple of more thoughts about this wisdom teaching that all beings come into being in a state of being. Yesterday we were discussing or bring our awareness to how we all live in a state of being, and that state is often the way we experience the story of our life, the story of our day, the story of what's up, perhaps in the sense of being uptight, or what's down in the sense of feeling kind of low and heavy. We can bring our awareness to our state, the state of our story. Notice that the story really takes over our state, and that story brings up a lot of feeling. And that's a big part of life, so that's not an oh no, it's an okay. So we bring our awareness to our state, tip our hat to the story, to bring our awareness into that space of feeling. This is a really tricky thing, but on one hand we have feeling as feeling, as sensation, and on the other hand we have feeling as sentiment, which is the tricky way our feelings are hiding in a story. Sentiments are often the feelings we feel the most. We feel the most viscerally, most personally. And they really, they're like the canoe paddle of the story. They just keep the story going. Let's connect these two practices. As the leaves come up, and check in with the feeling self, the thinking self, and sink down and see if I can get just below the story, below the sentiments, into the real feelings. And below those feelings, the more innate beingness that allows us to feel anything. Yeah. Just below the upsetting part of feeling, into the feeling part of feeling, and into the being part of feeling. The word passion can mean a lot of things, but in compassion, it means to suffer with or to feel the hardest feelings or even the best feelings with someone. So when we think of Tuesday and our patience and purpose and passion, the more patient we are, the more we choose to notice where our attention is going, choose what our attention is doing, it becomes easier and easier to go from story, sentiment, to feeling, to being. And all of those things create that state of being or beingness. If we can learn to 听见, to just listen with our whole being, all of it. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, nothing to fix, because there's nothing wrong. There's a quality of Qigong practice we call it san, and it means an appreciative attention. So if you can, or if you choose to, just stay with the breathing and your state. Or if you want to shift into your left brain and just be in a conversation for a couple of minutes, to you. If you can, in this moment, remember the last time you had a crush on someone. And you're sitting there, having a cup of tea or something, or whatever might be happening, going for a walk, and you start noticing how much you're noticing. Little wrinkles around their eyes when they smile, or a glint in their eye, or that funny, cute little sound they make when they laugh that just makes everything, oh my God. That quality of appreciation, that quality of attention can either be passive and we wait and wait and wait until someone comes along with the right shiny thing that gets us to go, oh, look, something that I appreciate, something that I'm attracted to, something that I want to move towards. We can also choose to have that experience with an innate sense of purpose, a choice to move towards our sense of passion and connection. We're just reminding ourselves what it feels like on the inside of our own being when that little secret smile comes up and you're like, oh my God. And I hope you can feel that right now. That's a wonderful state of being. And it's a really good idea to be able to bring that to yourself sometime. Notice how hard that is. That's strange. As we keep coming back to this experience of beingness, our state, just coming into the body, coming into the breath, choosing to have a little bit of a crush on life, in the moment-to-moment sense of just experiencing life. And that makes me want to giggle a little bit. It's so sweet, so dear. Sometimes we need that feeling to connect to the things around us and to connect with ourselves. So I'm going to move a couple of things around, and then we're going to do our standing practice. And we're going to be playing with this quality of patience and passion and this strange magical doorway of having a crush-like relationship with what we're doing. So just give me a minute to move a couple of things first.